Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to share my core strength yoga practice with you today. Thank you for joining me. Just a little background on this. I developed this practice for myself to practice at home during the beginning of my most recent Vini Yoga training. And I wanted to focus on core strength and also work on down dog, which is an axial extension posture, which means finding maximum verticality and experiencing the fullest potential of the length of your spine. So that's what we'll be focusing on today. People oftentimes ask me where I practice yoga and what types of classes I go to and what studios I go to. And I do love practicing as a group, but mainly what I do is an at-home personal practice. And the reason is because I can specialize my practices to myself, whatever I'm going through and what my needs are currently, and modify for them as they change. And so I just want to promote, I guess, and express my enthusiasm for an at-home practice, which I think is really the most powerful way to experience yoga, because you can cater it to yourself and your unique needs and get some powerful effects out of your practice. So I think there's benefit in both group practices and practicing privately at home. But that's kind of been my experience with it. So I just wanted to share that. And if anyone is interested in developing a home practice, that's something I'm really passionate about. And I love working with people to help them, figure out what they're looking for and what their needs are, and then completely cater to that in an individualized way. So if you're looking to establish a home practice, I'd love to help you. Just let me know. So anyway, today we're going to do my personal core strength practice that I created this sequence a few years ago. And so if you have a mat, you can roll out your mat. If you don't have a mat, no problem. Just get on the carpet. And you can have blocks for this one, again, if you have them at home. If not, no worries. I'll show you guys how to modify if you need to. And I will provide some modifications when I think that they would maybe be helpful. But please always remember also to modify for your own unique condition. So if there's something that's really not feeling right, especially in your spine, please modify however you need to. And if you need help with that, just leave me a comment, or you can ask me privately in a direct message or an email, or whatever way works best for you. So we will get going. This practice is going to be completely in the style of Vini Yoga, which is what I've studied. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you guys have questions, let me know. All right, so we'll begin on our mat. And you can go ahead and come to any comfortable seated position. So this posture is really comfortable for me, but if you'd rather be cross-legged, that's okay too. So coming to any comfortable seated position, and just relax your shoulders, and you can bring your hands into your lap. If it feels okay for you to close your eyes, go ahead. And we'll begin by just deepening inhale and lengthening exhale. So just take a few nice big breaths here. Beginning to deepen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. We'll go for about 4 breaths. All right. On your next few breaths, we're going to experience our first little bit of axial extension and of core support. So as you inhale, just lift up through the crown of your head a little bit. See if you can find any extension in your spine. letting the chest expand. And then as you exhale, just very gently draw the belly in towards your spine, pressing your belly button in towards you. And we'll do a few more breaths like that just to establish. So inhaling as if you're getting a little bit taller, lifting up through the crown of the head, and then exhaling, firming your low belly in towards your spine, gradually and slowly. And just very gently. So 2 more breaths like that. So these actions will be important as we go for the core stability and also for practicing axial extension. So just always thinking, inhale, lengthen, lift up through the crown of the head, and exhale, draw the belly in, support that long spine, and also squeeze all that air out. All right, so we'll begin to move. So you can come onto all fours, and we'll start with Chakravarkasana. So wrists right beneath your shoulders and knees beneath your hips. As you inhale, expand into the chest, gently lift the sternum forward and up, peel the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, draw the low belly in towards your spine. Begin with rounding into your low back, and then drop the head, bend the elbows, and shift all the way back towards your heels. So we'll do 5 more like that. Inhaling, leading with the chest to come forward and up, expand into the chest. And then exhaling, starting with the low back, draw your belly in towards your spine, round the low back, drop the head, and shift back towards your heels. So 4 more rounds like this. You may feel a little stretch in your low back. You may sometimes feel a stretch in your upper back. I normally do since I'm tight there. Inhaling to come forward and up, expand. And then exhaling to round and shift back. And feel free to just go at your own pace. And if your own pace is a little bit faster than mine, feel free to do a couple extra of these. All right, so next we'll come all the way onto our bellies to practice Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. So bring your hands, bring your elbows like just right next to your chest and your hands a little bit in front of you. And we're going to use inhale to lift forward and up with the chest. And then exhale to slowly lower down. So toes stay on the floor, palms can stay on the floor, and rather than pushing up with your hands and your arms, hold back on them as if you're like sliding forward. So inhale, lead with the chest, lift forward and up, hold back on the hands, and then exhale to lower down. We'll do 4 more like that, and then we're gonna hold the last one. So inhale, come up. Shoulders can peel back, and exhale to lower down. So on this last one, inhale, come up and pause. So exhale here to stay. And then as you inhale, continue lifting forward and up with the chest. So pressing the sternum forward, peeling the shoulders back. And stay for 3 more breaths here. Exhaling, slowly come down. And just pause. You can turn your head to one side. Let your back rest. Take a little break. And then when you're ready, press into your hands. come back up to tabletop, and take an exhale to shift back again to child's pose, and rest your back for a moment, stretch it out a little bit. So we're going to start to fire up the core. So again, just remembering, especially on exhale, we want to keep that belly button just drawn in towards the spine. And that'll engage your core, but also protect the low back. So we'll be really stable there. So as you inhale, we're going to come back up through tabletop, and we'll press back through the left heel and reach the right arm forward and up. So nice and strong here, okay? And get that leg fired up. So really squeeze the heel back. And then as you exhale, replace your knee in your hand and round the spine and shift back towards your heels. We'll alternate sides. So inhaling, pressing back up through center, press back through the right heel, reach the left arm forward, and exhale, belly draws in, replacing your hand in your knee, shifting back towards your heels. Alternating sides, so we'll do a couple more on each side. Inhale, left leg, right arm, and exhale, shift back. Inhaling, right leg, left arm, really reach, and exhale, shift back. And do 2 more rounds on your own on each side, and I'll just show a quick modification. If having both arm and leg out is really unstable for you and you want to bring it down a little bit and just modify, you can just do the leg. Okay, so you're going to pause here, squeeze back through the heel, and then exhale to replace the knee and shift back. And then other side. Okay, so you can do both arm and leg, or you can do just the legs. So after you've done 4 full rounds on each side, we're going to come back up and pause and hold for 4 breaths here. And so as you inhale, you're going to keep reaching forward through the fingertips and squeezing back through the heel. And then as you exhale, you're going to gently draw that belly in towards your spine. Again, so that you're supporting your low back and also really engaging that core. So with every breath, a little bit more work. Inhaling to reach long and exhaling to firm. 2 more breaths here, and then we'll do the other side. And so on your last exhale, replacing your hand in your knee, shifting back towards your heels. And then inhaling, come back up to the other side. So right leg, left arm. Pausing here. And again, you can just do the leg if that's plenty for you. And staying 4 breaths. So with each inhale, reach long forward through the fingertips, squeeze back through the heel. And then on exhale, pull that belly in towards your spine. You might even see a little bit more flattening of the back here. And so that's, again, supporting my low back so I'm not overarching, and also just creating that little extra bit of core strength. So inhale, 2 more breaths. Inhale for length, and exhale for that firming and stability. And then on your last exhale, replacing your hand and your knee, shifting back towards your heels. And we're going to move right on. So just inhaling, coming back up. You can tuck your toes under and pause here and bring your heels to the floor and just gently make your way to a very gentle forward bend with a slight bend in the knees. And then when you're ready, inhale, lead with the chest, sweep the arms, come all the way to standing. We'll practice some forward bending, so I'll face you guys for now. We're just going to do 3 gentle forward bends. So if you're tight in the backs of the legs, we haven't quite stretched those out yet, feel free to keep any amount of bend in your knees that you need to, okay? So as you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Stand really tall, lift up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, gently pull the belly in towards your spine, lower down. Let the head drop when you get to the bottom. And then inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, come all the way back to standing. And I was actually about to do it, but if you are, if this is a little top heavy for you, it can be a little bit strenuous on the back. So feel free to sweep the arms out to the sides and up if that's better for you. So we'll do 2 more together. Again, option to sweep the arms out and up or forward and up and forward and down. So inhaling, stand really tall. Exhale, pull the belly in. Reach long as you lower down. Any amount of slight bend in the knees. And then inhale, leading with the chest, arms of choice to come back to standing. One more like that. Exhale, pull the belly in. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. All right, we're gonna work our way through chair pose. So inhaling here, stand tall. As you exhale, pull the belly in, bend forward, and take a deep bend in your knees. So thighs are about parallel with the mat, and chest is resting on your thighs. You can let your head drop. As you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, lift the chest, and then start to press through the heels and straighten the legs. We're gonna do a couple more like that, and then hold in chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, pull the belly in, lower down. Big bend in those knees, let the head drop. As you inhale, sweep the arms, start by lifting the chest, and then squeeze it all the way back up to standing. One more like that before we hold. Exhale, pull the belly and lower all the way down, deep bend in your knees, head drops. Inhale, sweep the arms, lead with the chest, come back to standing. I'm getting out of breath myself. Exhale, pull the belly in, lower down. Pause here. As you inhale, try to keep your thighs parallel with the mat and keep your knees bent as much as possible. Inhale, lift the chest, sweep the arms. We're gonna hold here 4 breaths. So with each inhale, little bit more length, lifting up through the crown of the head, reaching through the fingertips. With each exhale, pull that belly in towards your spine. You might have seen a little bit more like flattening of my back. So again, we're working that core. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, draw the belly in. Keep that bend in your knees as much as you can. 2 more breaths here. And then on your next exhale, bending forward, lower down. You can straighten the legs, shake them out a little bit. Shake your head out, yes and no. Release any tension out of your neck. Pause. And then as you inhale, either sweep the arms forward or out to the sides and up, coming all the way back to standing. Exhale, release your arms. Alrighty, so just pause and see if you've built a little bit of heat yet and stuff like that. Just see how you're doing, check in. All right, so our next pose, you're gonna start with your feet at hips distance apart. And we'll step the right foot straight back. And so you still want the feet to be like hips distance so that we're stable. And if this pose for anybody ever gets really wobbly, you can scoot your left foot out to the side another inch or 2 to widen your base. All right, so from here, we're gonna inhale, take the arms all the way up and over. As you exhale, pull the belly in, press back through the back heel. We're lowering halfway down. This is gonna stretch out the leg a lot and the back. So if this is tight for you still, bending in the front knee a little bit. Inhale, lead with the chest, come all the way back to standing. We're gonna do that 4 times and then bend all the way forward. Exhale, pull the belly in, reach through the fingertips. We wanna be nice and long here, right? Axial extension. Inhale, back up to standing. Exhale, pull the belly in, lower halfway down, find that flat back, slight bend in the knee. If this is top heavy, you can do cactus arms here, okay? Inhale, back to standing. Last one, as you exhale, pull the belly in, catch yourself at halfway. Inhale, reach any amount longer through the fingertips, press forward through the top of the head. And then as you exhale, lower the rest of the way down to bend forward. So again, we're stretching out the back of the leg and the back. So if this is still really tight here, just keep a slight bend in your knee and it'll work itself out as we go, okay? So 4 breaths stay. With each inhale, you'll expand a little bit into the chest. There's almost like a natural lift. And then on exhale, you'll gently draw your belly in towards your spine and lower down any amount more towards your thigh. Couple more breaths here. If you have blocks and you want to use them here, this is a nice spot. Otherwise, if your hands can't reach the floor, you can just rest them on your shin here as long as you're not pressing it and locking on your knee. Okay, so a couple modifications if you need them. On your next inhale, lead with the chest, sweep the arms forward and up, come all the way back to standing. And exhale, release your arms, step your feet together and pause. We're gonna do that all on the other side. So starting with your feet at hips distance apart, and step the left foot straight back. Again, just set up so that you're stable. We're gonna do those 4 flat backs and then bend all the way forward and hold. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, stand really tall, lift up through the crown of the head. Keep that length as you exhale, reach through the fingertips, pull the belly and lower halfway down. Inhale, leading with the chest, reach through your fingertips back to standing. 3 more like that, exhale. Belly pulls in, press back through the back heel. Inhale, always leading with the chest. 2 more, exhale. Pull the belly in, halfway lower. Slight bend in the front knee. Inhale, back to standing. Last one here, and then we'll hold. Exhale, pull the belly in, catch yourself halfway, reach. If this is really top heavy, you can do cactus arms. Inhale, lengthen any amount more. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down. Same idea here, slight bend in the knee, especially if you're feeling pulling here, or in the low back if that's pulling. With each inhale, the chest expands and kind of naturally lifts. And then with each exhale, draw your belly in. See if you can bring yourself any amount closer towards your thigh. At the end of your 4 breaths, inhale, sweep the arms, lead with the chest, come all the way back to standing, and then exhale, release. Step your feet together and just pause. See how you're doing. See if you're out of breath like I am. I can't tell if it's from all the talking or from the practice, probably a combination of both. All right, so our next posture, we're going to practice Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. And I want you guys to keep an open mind. We're going to do it a little bit differently than you may have practiced it before. And I know you're really going to feel the benefit here. So start with your left toes turned out to the side. And you can turn your right toes in. You just want to make sure they're not facing outward as well. So either straight forward or a little bit turned in. If this starts to get really tight in your inner thigh or on the back of the leg, I want you to keep any amount of bend in your knee, okay? I want us to really notice and focus on the side of the torso here and bending laterally rather than stretching the inner thigh, okay? So as you inhale, bring your arms out to shoulder height. And as you exhale, draw the belly in. And this really helps keep you stable in this pose because this one can actually get pretty wobbly. And lower down to the side. And then as you inhale, we're going to reach through the fingertips, and rather than just pivoting to come back to standing, we're going to squeeze these muscles here on the side of the torso to bring us back up. So inhale, as if you're like squeezing your ribs towards your hip bone here. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Exhaling, pull the belly in, lower down, tip directly to the side, slight bend in your knee, especially if there's pulling here. We want to feel the stretch here on the top of the torso. And then as you inhale, squeeze these side muscles to bring you back to standing. 2 more like that. Exhale. Pull the belly and lower down. Inhale, squeeze your torso to come all the way back up. And then last one, and then we're going to hold. So exhale, tip directly to the side. You want to make sure your chest is spinning open. And inhale, squeeze it back to standing as you reach through the fingertips. We'll come back down into triangle and hold. So exhale, tip directly to the side. If it feels okay to look up at your top hand here, you can. If that doesn't feel okay on your neck, just look forward or down, okay? And so pausing here, and we'll get a little bit of a deeper stretch. So as you inhale, you can lift a little bit into this top side of your rib cage, the top side of your torso, and extend your arm overhead as long as that feels okay. So inhale, expand here, and then as you exhale, press down through the palm any amount more, and you'll feel really a deeper stretch here in the side of the torso. So we'll do 2 more breaths like that. Inhaling to expand, and exhaling to press down through the palm. On your next inhale, start with just bringing that arm back up to center, and then squeeze, again, just like we did before, and squeeze to bring it back to standing. Bring your hands to your hips, square your feet, and pause, and just see how that feels on the right side of your torso, right? It might feel a little bit of heat, or like that was hard, like we don't normally squeeze there so much. And I want you to, and if you have to practice it regular, like one time to feel the difference, I want you guys to really get the difference between just pivoting back to standing like we normally do. We kind of shift the hips, right? Or keeping the hips a little bit more fixed and really squeezing here to bring it back to standing. That's how you're going to get that core work in your torso, okay? So we'll do the other side. So turning the right toes out and the left toes just slightly in. Inhale, bring your arms out to shoulder height. As you exhale, draw in on the belly, tip directly to the side. You can look up at your hand if that feels okay. And then as you inhale, squeeze it to bring it all the way back to standing. Stand really tall. Exhale, pull the belly in, lower down, tip to the side. And inhale, bring it back to standing. 2 more, and then we'll do 1 more and hold. Exhale, tip to the side, lower down. And inhale, back to standing. And exhale. As you inhale, reach through the fingertips, squeeze the side of your torso to bring you back up. All right, last one, let's lower down on exhale and pause. So as long as it feels okay and it's not too much stretch here for you, again, on inhale, you can bring that arm up overhead. We're really gonna stretch it out here. So use your inhales to inflate into that left side of your rib cage, the top side of the torso. And then on exhale, press down through the palm. See if you can gently deepen the stretch. And if it ever feels like too much, just back off a little bit. Okay, take it only as far as it feels okay for you. Again, any amount of bend in the knee here. If there's pulling on your inner thigh, we'll do 1 more breath, inhaling to lift into the rib cage and the chest. And exhale, press down through the palm. As you inhale, start to bring your arm back up to center, and then squeeze here to bring you all the way back to standing. Lower your arms on exhale. Turn both feet forward and rest. And just feel that sensation on the sides of the torso. Kind of cool, right? A little bit of stretch, a little bit of strength. So when you're ready, step your feet back together. And you can step up to the top of your mat. And we're gonna just work our way back down to the mat. So we'll go ahead and just inhale, bring the arms up overhead. As you exhale, pull the belly in, bend forward, and just let your head hang, rest your neck. Pause here. And then bringing your palms to the floor, take a couple steps back and bring your knees to the floor. And use an exhale to just shift back to child's pose. So rounding the spine, bringing your hips to your heels and your forehead to the floor. So we're going to work our way into downward facing dog to experience that axial extension that we've talked about. So as you inhale, press up through tabletop and lengthen the spine here. You don't have to worry about doing any back bend, just find length. As you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, press up and back. And I want you guys to focus here on, again, finding length in the torso, length in the spine, rather than stretching the legs. Okay, so that's going to be our main goal today. So as you inhale, come back to your knees. And exhale, round the spine, shift back towards your heels. This is like a little mini yoga flow. And we'll do a couple more like that. So inhale, press back up through table. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, shift up and back. Little bend in your knees if you're still a little tight in the backs of the legs, okay? Inhale back to your knees. And exhale, round and shift back. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, come forward, find the length. Exhale, keep that length, pull the belly in, press up and back, downward dog. Inhale, back to your knees. And exhale, round and shift back. And one more like that. Inhale, shifting back up through tabletop. And exhale, pull the belly in, tuck the toes, press up and back, downward dog. So from here, again, if you're feeling rounded at all in the back, or if there's just any tightness, go ahead and bend your knees here, even like kind of deeply. And then as you inhale, press into your palms and press up and back through your spine. So like lifting your hips up towards the ceiling with bent knees. And you'll feel, and you could probably see that as well, you'll feel a lot of extension happen in your spine. And then you can start to work your legs towards straight. But again, first and foremost, find that axial extension, that long spine, okay? So from here, we're gonna kick it up a notch. And so as you inhale, keep your hands and your feet exactly where they are. Rock all the way forward, come to up dog. Lifting the chest, lowering the hips. And then as you exhale, pull the belly in, squeeze it all the way up and back to downward facing dog. We're gonna do 3 more like that. Inhale, shift, rock all the way forward. Lifting the chest, peel the shoulders back, and you can squeeze back through the heels too, and really keep those legs fired up. Exhale, pull the belly in, squeeze it up and back. 2 more. Inhale, rock all the way forward. Expand into the chest, peel the shoulders back. Exhale, pull the belly in, squeeze it up and back. So kind of like in triangle pose, rather than just shifting the hips, see if you can use your core muscles here to initiate that movement. We'll do 1 more. Inhale, rock all the way forward. Lower the hips, lift the chest. And exhale, pull the belly in, squeeze it up and back. And so we'll pause here for 4 breaths. Use each inhale to press through the palms, reach the hips up and back, experience that length in the spine, axial extension. And with each exhale, pull the belly in, keep squeezing the hips back, and maybe draw the heels down towards the floor. So a couple more breaths here. You may have experienced just a little bit more ease in the pose now than when we first did it a moment ago. And that's just simply the work we've done working our way through it. So you may feel like your legs are a little bit straighter, or you feel a little bit more space in your spine. And anything really is okay. But just noticing the simple changes as we dynamically work through these poses, that they're a little bit different once we are ready to hold. So 1 more big inhale here. And then as you exhale, I'll just bring your knees to the floor and pause in child's pose and rest. And actually, let's bring our arms down by our sides for now, just to relax the shoulders. Alrighty. So as many breaths as you need here. And then whenever you're ready, you can use your hands to press you up. We're going to come directly onto our backs. So begin with hugging your knees in towards your chest, maybe rocking side to side. Give yourself a little back massage, whatever feels okay for you. We're going to do a little bit more core work here. So bring your arms down by your sides and plant both feet down and just pause. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, keep the right foot planted and draw your left knee in towards your chest. We're going to work the leg and work the core. So as you inhale, press out through your left heel and hover your leg above the mat. And you want to keep your belly firm here so that your low back is still resting on the floor. As you exhale, draw the belly in towards your spine. Fire up through the heel. Squeeze that leg all the way up until your heel is pressing up towards the ceiling. If you need to keep a slight bend in your knee here, you can. As you inhale, slowly lower back down, hover that leg. And then exhale, left knee to chest. We're gonna do 4 on each side. Inhale, press out through the heel, hover your leg above the mat. Exhale, keep squeezing your belly in. Slowly draw that heel up towards the ceiling. Slight bend in the knee if you need to, okay? Inhale, slowly lower down. And exhale, knee to chest. 2 more. Inhale, press out through the heel. Exhale, squeeze it up towards the ceiling. Really keep that heel pressing out so the leg stays fired up. Inhale, slowly lower down. And exhale, knee to chest. 1 more round. Inhale. So everything else is going to stay relaxed on the floor. So shoulders, head, hips. Exhale, squeeze it up. Inhale, slowly lower. And we'll pause here and hover that leg. So exhale to stay. Draw your belly in. Keep squeezing out through the heel. Inhale, any amount more pressing through the heel. So keep that leg fired up. And then exhale, knee to chest. And just rest, and you can hug it in. Okay? And then other side. So plant the left foot down. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, right knee to chest. Inhale, squeeze it out. Hover that heel above the floor. Exhale, belly button presses in towards your spine. Leg stays fired up as you squeeze that leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale, slowly lower down. See if you can use the full length of your breath to move. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, press out through the heel. And the more you can really match up your movement within the length of your breath, I promise you the more challenging it'll be. Exhale, squeeze it up towards the ceiling. Inhale, slowly lower. And exhale, knee to chest. 2 more. Inhale, press out through the heel. Exhale, belly pulls in as you squeeze that heel up towards the ceiling. Bending in the knee if you need to. If you're shaking a little bit, that's fine. I am. Inhale, slowly lower. Hover that heel. Exhale, knee to chest. We'll do 1 more and then we'll hold the last one for just a breath. Inhale, press out through the heel. Exhale, squeeze it up towards the ceiling. Inhale, slowly lower down. Keep firing up that leg, press out through the heel. Exhale here, stay. Draw your belly in towards your spine so that the low back is pressing towards the floor and you're working that core. Inhale, press out through the heel any amount more. Keep it nice and tight. And then exhale, slowly using the full length of your breath, knee to chest. Pause here. You can hug both knees in. Maybe gently rock side to side. Maybe rock your head side to side. Massage out your back. We have a couple more postures before we finish up. All right, so when you're ready, bring your arms out to the floor beside you. I'm just going to scooch over so I have a little bit more room for a twist. Okay. So arms come out to the floor on either side of you. As you exhale, twist to the left and face right. And then inhale, bring it back to center. I'll just do a few rounds on each side and then hold, okay? Exhale, twisting to the left, face right. Inhale back through center. 1 more here, exhale, twist left, face right. And stay a couple of breaths. So if it feels okay to deepen a little bit, you can scoot your knees up a little bit closer towards your elbow. And with each exhale, gently scooting those knees, especially your right knee, a little bit more left as you draw your right shoulder down towards the floor. So just very gently and pulling the belly in on exhale, and that'll help bring you into that movement as well. So 2 more breaths here. And then on inhale, come back up through center. Pause, take a free breath here in between. As you exhale, drop your knees to the right, face left. I have like pieces of carpet stuck to my doll. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale, twist right, face left. Inhale, center. And last one, exhale, twist right, face left, and pause. If it feels okay to go a little bit deeper, you can draw your knees a little bit closer up towards your elbow. And if not, just hang out where you are, be where you are, okay? And then on exhale, sliding your left knee a little bit more to the right so that it's kind of stacked more over your right knee. And at the same time, drawing your left shoulder down towards the floor, and that'll just help gently deepen your twist. Always on exhale, firming the belly in towards your spine. And again, that helps bring you into the twist as well from your center, which is what we're going for. One more full breath here. And then as you inhale, bring it back to center. And pause, take a big exhale. And then bring your hands to the tops of your knees with your fingers facing away from you. We'll practice Apanasana to neutralize the low back, okay? So as you exhale, gently draw the belly in, draw your knees in towards your chest. Really gentle stretch for the low back. Inhale, drop your knees away from you, arm's length. So just go at your own pace for this one. Do about 6 or 8 rounds. And if you're ever feeling any tension, like any extra tension in your low back at the end of your practice, you can even do more of these, like 10. But just taking your time, slowly drawing the knees in towards your chest. Exhaling to hug them in and inhaling to release them away from you. And this can be a funny pose. I've had a lot of students say, like, hey, I really don't feel a stretch in my back in this pose. And it's very subtle. But really what you should, the goal of this one is that at the end of our practice, when we get to Shavasana, the back, you can't feel your low back. So there's no tension left over there. There's nothing funky. So that's really the purpose of this pose. And it also starts to just slow down our practice to signal to our body that we're about to finish up and we're going to rest in a moment here. Okay, so a couple more rounds on your own, whatever you feel like your low back is wanting and needing. And then when you're ready, we'll do a few rounds of bridge pose before we find Shavasana. So plant your feet and bring your arms down by your sides. And this is kind of just to stretch the belly after we did some core stuff. So as you inhale, press into your feet, lift the hips, draw your chest towards your chin, inflate. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down. See if you can really lower from top to bottom, 1 vertebra at a time, drawing the belly in as you lower. And just 3 more rounds like that. Inhaling, lifting through the hips. You can even inflate into your belly a little bit here. Let it rest after some core work. And exhaling to slowly unravel and lower down. And just 2 more at your own pace on your own breath. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to lower. And then once you finish, let your hips rest on the floor. If you feel like you want to draw your knees in towards your chest one more time, you can. And then when you're ready, gently make your way to Shavasana, spreading your legs out, resting your arms down by your sides, closing the eyes as long as that feels okay. If you've been practicing Ujjayi, go ahead and let that go. And we'll rest for a few moments here on the floor or on the mat. Noticing any effects from your practice, anything that feels like there's heat or a little vibration or a sensation. Briefly noticing that. And then just resting deeply. So I invite you to stay in your Shavasana as long as you would like. Your body will basically tell you when it's over. You'll start to move a little bit and have a little bit more just awareness, and kind of your mind will be back in the room. So when you're ready, and again, feel free to stay as long as you want. When you're ready, just move slowly and come back to any comfortable seated position. So rolling to one side or however you want to get there. I'm going to come back up here so I can talk to you guys. And just pause for a moment and relax your shoulders, and inhale and sit up nice and tall, lifting up through the crown of the head, experiencing all that maximum verticality, all that space you've created in your spine. Maybe noticing a little bit of energy in your core here. So relaxing the shoulders, and take a deep breath. And I always love to finish with just thinking of anything that you're truly grateful for in today. So you can bring your palms together and just honor your practice. Think of one thing that you're grateful for. All right. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you guys have questions or anything, please let me know in the comments, or you can send me a private message. I'm really, really honored to teach this stuff, and I'm psyched to be able to share one of my home practices with you. So thank you all so much for joining, and I hope to see you again soon.